What's up, guys? It's the Baileys again. Here I wanted to talk to you and show you guys about the three buildings two that we built and one that we renovated on this property we bought about 6 years ago. As you can see there, it was pretty overgrown. We spent the first month and a half just trimming it up, getting it back to a normal state of yard, if you will, and removing all the junk and debris, which there was about 6 loads, about 180 yards of material. A good bit of material, tons, literally. It took us about 7 or 8 months just to start renovating this building here, which eventually turns into this blue building you're going to see in the video. It was pretty dilapidated. Obviously, you can see all the junk inside there. So it took us quite some time with some elbow grease, and it was predominantly just me and my wife. My kids at the time, my eldest son would have been 18 going on 19. We had a daughter who was 17, and all of our other ones were younger and still in school. So we would come out there 3 or 4 hours a day when we could. Plus, we were running the business, so it made for some really tiresome days. But boy, it was really, really rewarding. Yeah. So you can see right there, guys, there's a ton, literally a ton of junk. Got it all out of there, and then we slowly started renovating it with materials that we acquired through Bailey's Junk Removal and More. It's a business that we run. We've been at it for 17 years. It was not our sole source of income for the first 7 or 8 years. It was a part-time gig, and we both did other jobs, MHMR, taking care of individuals in group homes and things of that nature. Eventually, it evolved to a full-time gig. It's doing really well now, so it gave us the ability to be able to not only acquire properties, but to renovate them, and two, to use the materials that we found off these properties to renovate this building. I'd say somewhere around 70% of everything that we've done in all these projects you're going to see, the two buildings we built and the one that we renovated, which is right here, the brick building, the original building that was on this property. Oh yeah, see right there, guys? That's one load. We had 6 of those. There I am, just looking around, kind of figuring out what we could do. These stones were buried in the ground, so I figured why not reuse them. Right there on the building, you see those boards there at the top? That was plywood and 2x4s from pallets. We were getting those free from a place called Largents that we found. And it was all free. We just used it to renovate and rejuvenate this building. There's the inside of the building. You can see a huge difference from what it originally was. All these things you're seeing here are predominantly free. The fridge, the table, all these things were from our junk job business. All the wood, the paint, everything. We literally paid nothing. Maybe the door, I think. No, actually, we got the door for free now that I think about it. To hang it, we paid for that part, but everything else was free. The stone on the ground that we used was from junk jobs. People want new landscaping, take the old stone, tearing down a old foundation. We took the stones from there. That stove right there, beautiful stove, Vermont cast, and we got in Pittsburgh for $100. We did pay for that. The video game, free. Yeah, so you're kind of getting the idea here. But yeah, it took us about a year to renovate this place slowly but surely because we don't have all the materials you acquire them as you do jobs. But yeah, it took us about a year. There's the stove, and I'll tell you what, that sucker works wonderful. Beautiful. It has some age on it, but nonetheless, it works superiorly. There's the bathroom that we did. We did buy the galvanized stove, or the galvanized metal there. We did buy the trough. The washing machine, we got a really good deal on that. But everything else was free. It was nice having this because we were sweating, you know what I mean? Hot, sweaty, dirty. Being able to hop in there and get a shower before you got back in the car was really nice. But there's a look at it, guys. The final product, if you will. That's what it did. That's what we got after about a year and a half of steady, hard work, coming out there 10 to 12 hours a week, sometimes more than that in the summer, 3 or 4 days, 8 hours a day. And that's what we got from it. The building on the right, we're about to touch on that and show you guys what we did there. Check out the upstairs photos right here, guys. This is the upstairs. This is where the cobwebs were, the vines, and all the mold. Check that out. Looks pretty beautiful, I think. It's inviting. It's nothing new age. It's not incredibly aesthetic, but it does do the job. And our boys go out there regularly and stay, and we go out there occasionally. And summertime, that place is a nice spot, particularly when you're out there doing chores and mending fences, things like that, or building infrastructure for the animals. Being out there and being able to go up and pop on the TV or get a drink out of the fridge or whatever, turn on the fan and cool down is nice. But yeah, guys, that was about a year and a half of us really hitting it with the hard elbow grease and doing what we do. We still have some more stuff to do there, but you kind of get the idea. It's what you're about to see here is me cutting the grass when we first began. Really get a look at that. That's what it was. You saw before what it is now. No, obviously we've been doing this for about 6 years, but we got a lot done in that first year and a half. And right there's that big space right there you saw. I thought, babe, to my wife, why don't we put a barn here or a rec building? So the next photos you're about to see is the rec building, which it was initially. It was a chill spot for us down there while we were just on the property. So there it is. We're starting to build it. All those beams you see were 6x6 and 8x8s we had milled from wood off our property. A guy we knew was able to hook us up with a really good price. The actual deck was out of 2x4s that we got again for free that would be thrown out otherwise from pallet boards. And we just made a deck out of it. A lot of this wood was that way. The infrastructure or the guts of it I try to do, the appropriate way. You want a strong building. But yeah, so here's a picture coming up here of some more of my son. Our youngest son was helping me put the floor in. That would have been about 7 years ago. And that's the area where there was nothing. As you can see in the background, we had a chicken coop, and I wanted something bigger potentially as we got more animals. But initially, it was a rec center, if you will, a little place for us to chill, a little cabin. And it has evolved since to becoming a barn for all of our fowls, which we have about 75, 80 birds right now. So there you guys, you can kind of see the build there, and it was very simplistic, 2x4s over the studs, and then eventually we put laminate over it, if you want to say laminate, siding that we had milled 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch thick oak and red maple that you'll see here coming up that we actually put over these 2x4s for a little bit more insulation. Then we waterproofed it all, which you can see there. We already waterproofed that, stained it, and then we did the same to the milled boards. There's some of the milled boards there. Some of it was thicker, which I used for other projects, but the interior we wrapped in milled boards, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick, and we did the same thing to the exterior, which you'll see. Eventually, we put a deck on it, just to allow for a little bit of R&R chill time out back. All that was free with the exception of the posts. Those posts we actually bought pressure treated. But everything else, it was one off my property that I had built. So yeah, our property, I should say. And here you go. You can see some more of the boards and the milled boards that we had done. Eventually leading us to the exterior, like I had mentioned, of the 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch oak and red maple, which you'll see coming up here. We did all this, guys. We did not hire out for anything. The one exception was the roof on the blue building was pretty steep. We hired out for that, but everything else we literally did with our own elbow grease. My wife and I predominantly, our boys helped here and there. We had no building experience whatsoever. We've never done anything like this. This was completely a shot in the dark. And you can see it. I mean, there were some crooked boards here and there. There were some boards that were bowed. There was nails missing and screws that we didn't put in the right place and things we had to go back and fix and things we had to plumb up and level out. But overall, I mean, it was a great experience, and it's still standing and it's still very strong. It serves its purpose. We're going on year 5 of the barn. It was a little over a year of using it as a rec center. Well, see, there you can see some more of the milled wood that we used for the siding. It worked out really well, man. And we got it really cheap. We actually traded for that wood. A guy wanted some of our fruits and vegetables that we had grown, and we traded them for him to mill us a bunch of wood. There you go. You can see the siding slowly but surely coming along there, and eventually the whole building's wrapped in that, and it's done wonderful. We have no leaks in this building whatsoever. The roof was just 3 very large tarps that we also got for a really cheap price. We actually got like 40 of them from a lady that owned a billboard company. Well, check out the wood in there. I always say that turned out really, 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 really nice. That was oak, cherry, some maple, and a little bit of pine. But yeah, back to the billboards. We used those for the roof, and then eventually we put metal over them. And it's done wonderful. We had no issues whatsoever. It's been great. Literally not a single leak in this building at all. You get occasional mouse in there. We have cats out there. We didn't bring them out there. A mama had, I want to say, 5 kittens out there. So we got 5 cats out there, and they seem to keep the mice situation under control. But yeah, there's a table we made just for the heck of it out of some of the milled wood. That was a great table. We played a lot of card games on that table. Still have it there, actually. Not in that building, but we still have it. That being said, yeah, you kind of get the gist of it, guys. It was a slow, steady progress. But again, we didn't have any experience, and we did it. If you just have a little bit of mathematical ability, basic math skills, proficient in math, and you have a little bit of grit and determination, anybody can do this, guys. It's not It seems crazy, but really anybody can. I think that's the way God intended it to be. We can all are capable of providing for ourselves if we try. So we did. We gave it a shot. We wanted a homestead, and now we have 85 fowl, and I think 9 or 10. We have 10 sheep, and we make our own eggs and produce our own meat to some degree. And we have a vegetable garden out here, and we go out there. We do our thing, man, and it's really nice. We don't live out there permanently. It's just one of the 4 or 5 locations that we have that we go and do our thing with as nomadic type people. We like to move around. We like to do new things. But yeah, as you can see here, that door we just built from some scrap wood. And hey, guys, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask us, feel free to chime in. Send me a question. Hey, I love to answer it, guys. How we did it, what we did, and what the process was. If you want to know, we can definitely inform you of that. We have a little bit of experience now. And here's the building, again, getting wrapped a little bit more. And you'll see the final product here coming up. The staining process was predominantly me. I like to do it that way because I'm very thorough that way. I'm just kind of anal. But yeah, I stained that whole building. It took me about 15 gallons of stain, which again we got really cheap from somebody that works at a Lowe's that was selling them for $5. It was cheap. It was like a miscellaneous mixed stain. But yeah, there's the final product, guys, of the lower part. That looks pretty much like that now, except there's a metal roof on that building down below. But that's pretty much how it looks. And again, it's a barn now, all of our animals in it. Here's a picture coming up of what it looks like with the roof on it. But you can see way up to the top of the property is where the pool's at. All right, so there you go. Right there's the metal roof. You can see the deck's pretty makeshift. Does the thing, though. We love it. It's really cool. But yeah, there's the roof on it, and here's the final photo from a wide view angle. You can kind of see everything. Going way up the top there is where our swimming pool's at. Kind of gives you an idea. This is a 1.1 acre. It goes way back over there, on top of the hill up there. Kind of gives you an idea, though. That chicken coop that was in that photo is not there anymore. This is me and the boys making a wall out of stone that we had acquired from years of selling stone and getting stone and tearing down foundations. And we put that there because people come barreling down that hill. I think it's 25 mile an hour. People do like 50. Well, none of us want to die, so we put those stones there and built that stone wall. You can see those fencing there was all milled wood as well. The post that we used was just miscellaneous leftover wood for all of our fencing on all of our property, really. Yep, so that was the first renovation and the first building we built there. And then we'll take you to the top where you will see a pool building as well as an outdoor shower. Yeah, those are chickens in the barn, guys. That's what it's for now. It's supposed to get some pretty cold temps coming in, so it's nice we let our sheep in there as well when necessary. But usually the sheep are so hardy. I tell you, it's crazy. It'd be 20 degrees outside with 20 mile an hour winds, and the sheep are running around playing. So it's like normal to them. But nonetheless, if it gets too cold, we're concerned. We let our sheep in there as well. But yeah, we keep 65 birds in there, or 85 birds actually. It might be a little bit more than 85 now, to be honest with you. And we're going to incubate another 20 to 30, hopefully, in the next 2 or 3 months. And let them out in about 8 to 9 months out there as well. Yeah, chickens, man. You got to love them. We have guineas, chickens, duck, and quail. And they all produce well. We're still getting a dozen of eggs a day right now. And January 1st. Happy New Year, guys. I forgot. January 1st today, 2025. We're still getting a dozen, 12 to 14 eggs every single day. In the summertime, we'll top out around 35 to 40 a day. I think our high was like 55 last year. But the average, we'll float around 35 to 40 for a month and a half, 2 months out of the year. Get a good bit of eggs. Here's all of the scrap metal from some jobs. Not all of it, but a portion of it, probably a third. Maybe a quarter of what we used in the building. Probably not even a quarter, guys. More like a fifth or a sixth now I think about it. Of the wood that we got from junk jobs and metal we got from junk jobs that started the pool house building, which you're about to see coming up here. The pool house building was just a building up top, so we didn't have to go down below to get washed up or to go to the bathroom or to take a shower or anything like that. We needed something up there, so we built it out of scrap wood. That building upstairs, up top, I really don't think that exceeded, nor did the building below exceed $1,000. I would say we spent $200 to $300 just on nails and screws, and then the glue, the insulation, the foam insulation. Those were really our costs. The majority of the wood and the metal, 80 to 90% of it, was free. It was from junk shops. It was from landfills. It was from people giving it to us. Uh, it's incredible, guys, but there really is a market. If you wanted to build your own garage, 20 by 20, you know, 12-foot walls, 14, 15, 16-foot peaks, you could. Out of nothing but scrap wood. And it would be decent wood. I mean, look at that wood right there. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no nails in it. This would have got thrown out. So, yeah, we built these out of scrap wood. Miscellaneous. Yeah, and it works. You know, now you may not be able to do this in certain locations where there's code enforcement things. Out of this area, there isn't. We're really out in the boondocks, and you should still know what you're doing. Don't be foolish and build something that's going to kill you. But you get my point. You can build a substantial building, basic, 4 walls, roof that's strong, substantial, sturdy, with very little risk, out of free wood. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to ask. Like I said, love to answer them. Tell you how long it took, how much manpower, how many hours. These are all 3 of our sons. They're all older now, man. This picture was taken 2 years ago. They're all men, basically. The youngest one now is 14, but all the rest of our boys are adults. Well, actually, we have a 17-year-old. He'll be turning 18 this year. Everybody else is adults, man. But yeah, they all helped. They helped when they could, and school wasn't, in, or they didn't have extracurricular activities. But believe it or not, my wife and I probably did about 50 to 60% of all of this stuff that you saw. And I'm grateful for it. It was a wonderful experience. It was hard work. We loved it. We learned a lot about each other. We learned a lot about building. We learned a lot about patience. We learned a lot about working through difficulties. And believe me, there was plenty of difficulties, guys. Don't let me fool you and make you think it was simple. It was not. But it was very rewarding and still is. Our intentions for 2025 is to continue to build. We are now working on, which is not in here, but it's on the page if you guys go check it out. We are now working on building a storage unit, if you will, barn right below the barn at the bottom for the animals. And this is solely going to be for storage. We have, wheelbarrows and tanks, water tanks out there, and just miscellaneous stuff, wood and hay. For the sheep, we get 20 to 25 bales a month that we use for the sheep in the winter, 10 to 12 during the summer. So we need a place to store this stuff. So we're going to do that. Here I am carrying up some of the wood the way at the top. Let me tell you, that is a heart pumper. We walked the whole way up that hill. The highest grade or steepest part of that hill is, I want to say the grade was like 34%. It's significant, man. Like, so by the time you get up there, your heart's thumping through your chest and your neck. But nonetheless, that's what we did, man. Thank God for our kids too. With their youthful legs, they really helped out getting this material up there. It's no easy feat carrying up pavers and things like that, and 2x4s and 4x4s and 6x6 and 8x8 posts. Pretty heavy. But yeah, and also we installed a pool up there, which you eventually will see, guys, the final product of this building, which is the pool house. You will see the final product here in about a minute or two. But yeah, it was a slow process. All that's miscellaneous wood. It's all used, 90% of it. And it turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful structure. It served its purpose now for 3 years. About 3 years. And, we're loving it, man. It really, really, really has made life easier, not having to go down the bottom when we're up there swimming. In the summertime, we're probably swimming up there at least, 20, 25 days out of the summer. We'll go up there and swim. So having this building is definitely pivotal, game changer. There's the deck on it, sitting right by the pool. That was the original pool we had. We actually got a larger pool up there now. But yeah, this is all, again, miscellaneous scrap wood that would have been in a landfill, guys. Yeah, so, again, you guys have a dream, you have an idea, you want to do it, it can be done, guys. We're not special. We're just people just like you. We just decided to do it, and we did it. Like I said, we probably used about, 60 bottles of spray foam in this building. It wasn't airtight, that's for sure. But nonetheless, serves a purpose. It being so small, you throw a little propane heater in there, a little Mr. Buddy or something like that, which we have, or put a stove. Actually, we have a stove in there. We just haven't used it yet. But with the Mr. Buddy heater in there, you can warm that thing up to 80 degrees in an hour or two, and it could be 20 outside. It's really small, in that aspect. It's 20 feet long and I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It's 19 by 19. It was 19 by 19. So yeah, there you go. It serves the purpose. It does what it's supposed to do. Again, the only beam that I paid for in that building is that long center beam you see right there. That's a 12 by or 2 by 12, and that was the run to give us some more support on the roof. Other than that, that's all miscellaneous wood, guys, that we just strapped together, nailed together, screwed together, and it worked really well. That actually is a really formidable building. It surprised the hell out of me that it was so tight and so strong. There's a couple of things we have to do over the summer that we're going to do. We're going to wrap the roof again and add a little bit more miscellaneous metal that we got to the roof just to make it more leak-proof, if you will. As of right now, there's only one small little leak in there, and we know where it's coming from. We'll take care of that over the summer. And then my sons over the summer are going to move out there and stay for, part of the summer. They just kind of want to do it. They said they're going to be fun. We won't have to drive to check on the animals twice a day, so that's nice. But yeah, guys, this is it. Hit me up with any questions, guys. Like and subscribe, man. Really, really hope you enjoyed it.